Hello drone racers, my bench is a disaster because I've been doing some experiments. This is my Eachine Stack-X flight controller and ESC. I've kind of torn it to pieces. I did some experiments. I added a capacitor, as a lot of people suggested, and I soft mounted the motors on my quadcopter, and I reseated the camera cable, and I went out and flew it, and this is what it looked like. Video is breaking up. Oh, even with the capacitor, it's terrible. Jeez, and it's jittery and jello-y, and like it's double soft mounted, and it's still just bleh, and it yaws to the left, and gosh, that's just awful. What the heck? I actually have a whole video of that, but I didn't even post it because it was just so terrible. I couldn't take it. It was just atrociously bad. And I felt bad posting another video just saying this is garbage. And I've now seen two videos where the DVR footage looked really good and mine was atrociously bad. So I went back to the drawing board. I took this out and just threw it away. I haven't thrown it away, it's right here. Maybe I'll try it at some point, but I needed to try something else. So here's what I've got now. This is the same Martian frame, but instead what I did is I installed the Racerstar 4-in-1 flight controller ESC. It's a F3 flight controller. There's also an F4 version available, and it's a 35 amp, I believe, ESC. And you'll see my connections here are terrible. I've got the cables zip tied down because my goal wasn't to make this finished and beautiful. It was to see if it worked. I just wanted it to work. And what's great about this flight controller is it was super easy to wire up. If I end up doing more of these and I go through and clean this up, I might show you what it looks like. I could do a whole review of that because I actually really liked it in the end. Really easy to hook up, really easy to solder up, but would it work? Because I've got the top stack, which you can get individually. So here's what's nice. The Stack-X was right at $100, $110 for the whole stack. The DVR with the camera, I think, is only $50, and this flight controller stack is right at $50. So we're still right at $100 to $110, pretty much the same price. The only thing you don't get with this that you do get with the Stack-X is the VTX. So I grabbed just a VTX that I had. I've got this one. I've got a plan to experiment with it, but I haven't had time yet. So I just literally strapped it on here to see if it would work. So let's go find out. Keep your fingers crossed. So one thing I'm nervous about as I was testing this out is I've actually tried to use this flight controller before and it ended up not working in another build. I'm afraid I ruined one of the ESCs. So if it won't fly, what I'm going to do is grab a hold of it and just run up the motors because I'm not sure this motor is going to turn. I don't think this is going to work. Oh, it is working. I don't think I'm going to get full power because of that ESC, but oh, you know what? It seems to be okay, better than I expected. Hey, it doesn't flip a death. Huh. I did not expect that at all. I didn't think that was going to work. Oh, it actually looks pretty good. For just slapping this thing together, I literally just kind of slapped it together just to see if it would work. Rate mode works. Holy cow, I did not expect this thing to barely even function. Okay. Well, let's see how FPV works. Oh, I've got a little breakup, but not terrible. Wide dynamic range isn't good. Stay away from the pond just in case something dies. I think maybe my goggles are set too bright. Part of this is my video transmitter. I'm just got that hooked together and it's probably got a little vibration in it. You know what? I can work with this. I can make this fly. I wonder how the DVR footage is. I don't know yet. So, I mean, you know what? The wide dynamic range is actually not too bad. I am totally babying this thing just because I don't totally trust the whole model yet. Need a little more camera angle, which is fine, which we can do. Do a little full throttle. that. I've got just a little bit of video breakup, but not bad at all. I am really, really happy with this. I can't believe it. I'm going to come back and adjust my goggles because I think that's part of the problem. I think my video on these is just set too bright. If I darken them up a little bit, it'll be a whole lot better. I wonder if I'm a little bit out of focus too. There's no latency. I mean, not. If you're a top-end racer, you probably notice the latency. For what I'm doing, if I go, it's fine. It's absolutely fine. If you're in your backyard and you just want HD footage, it's absolutely fine. I'm going to bring it in and try another battery and some different goggle settings. Oh, there we go. That's much better. You know what? For Betaflight 3.16, this isn't that bad. I missed 3.2. I need to update it to 3.2. There's a full speed run. I got a little bit of breakup at full speed, but I can totally fly through it. Compared to how terrible it was before, this is really a test just of the video, and kind of the flight controller. I'd never used it before, but I really like it. I actually really like it a lot. It was great to build with. Even the video artifacts that I do have are totally flyable. Now that I decrease the brightness on my goggles a little bit, I mean, this is not HD quality here in my goggles, and there's a little artifacts. Need more camera angle, but there's enough adjustments here that you can do that. You can just move which screws I'm in. I am really happy, and I'm rubbing. So the problem at the moment is my build, so I'm going to come in and land it. I'm rubbing against something. I am going to call that a humongous success. That looked great. I took out the SD card and looked at the DVR footage, and it looks perfect. Everything looks great. The video, the camera, it looks a little digital. There was no latency at all. I mean, not that I could notice. I was talking about it a little bit while I was flying, and I couldn't notice it. I thought it was fine. It's for what I'm flying. The picture was good enough. Once I adjusted the brightness on my goggles, it was much better. It was just too bright. Once I got that adjusted, it was good. The DVR footage, I haven't edited this yet, so if I see something different in there, I'll make a note of it on the screen right now. But overall, it looked really good. What I was catching at the end, I was afraid I was catching one of these wires on a prop. It was my antenna that had come around, and it was catching on my props just a little bit. Not enough to knock me out of the air, but that's what that problem was at the end. So it's not pretty. It is darn ugly, but I will put the list of components that I've got here in the bottom because I'm really, really happy with it in the end. I think you could actually cut the wires to length, which these are nice long wires. They were really easy to work with. Cut them down to length, install those on there, probably mount the VTX and the receiver, and this would be a great flyer with an HD camera. So the biggest problem with this is the big camera. And I found out what it was as I was testing around to see if I could get it smaller. There's actually a battery in here, and that is what keeps the DVR going. So if you unplug your battery, it will save your DVR footage for you. So it's worth it for that because that is a lifesaver. You'd think it wouldn't need to be a LiPo, like a little capacitor I would think would do it, but maybe for the next generation they'll make that better. But I am so excited because I feel like this thing is redeemed. I just hated saying over and over that this was a bad combination. So the DVR and camera, which is about half the price of a RunCam split, seems to be a pretty good model. Now with this, what have I got? I've got under $200 in this for sure. 100, oh yeah, easily. You could almost put this together for 150 bucks with the DVR, which is ludicrous. All right, I'm gonna total that out because that's pretty sweet. The next question though is I just got a real RunCam Split 2. This is the Split 2, so what will this look like? What will this do in comparison? It's almost double the price of the Eachine. Is it worth it? The lens is probably a lot better. But I'm going to build this. I'm probably gonna order, I'm so happy with this flight controller. I'm gonna order the F4 version to try that also because this thing is just great. I was starting to feel like I just didn't know how to build a quad with the other stack. It was just so bad I thought I was surely doing something wrong. But nope, this one's awesome. Even on an old Betaflight. The only downside of this one, I'll go ahead and point this out just to be fair, the USB connection is right there on the front. And it's pretty much impossible to get to, so I need to install a right angle adapter on there, because right now I have to take the top off. I'm going to plan to just rebuild this completely and make it a final flyer. Right now it's kind of a Franken quad, and it just doesn't need to be that. It deserves a lot more. So I'll take that, and then I'll build another one to fly this one with, do a price and a model comparison, and we will just see how it goes from there. And then you can decide which one you want to do. So if you found this useful, leave a like and a comment down below. I've got a link for you can buy just the DVR portion. I would not buy the whole stack. Mine wasn't good, and the DVR portion, which is what people really want, is really good. The rest of the stack, just not so much. So I'll post all the components down below so you can put one together if you want to. And until next time, remember, in this case, 5th time was a charm.